What's up, you guys? Health Coach Tony here. All right, so let's jump right in. I'm really excited about this. This is such a big topic. I get this question all the time. All right, so are carbs good for you or are they bad for you? That's what I want to clear up on today's video, okay? So I mentioned in an earlier video this week about protein. All right, so carbs are another piece of the macronutrient puzzle, okay? So there are three macronutrients that our bodies need. They are carbs, protein, and fats, okay? I'm gonna only be talking about carbs on today's video, and carbs are our main energy source, you guys, okay? So they're super important. So if you're not consuming carbs currently, I highly recommend you do and watch this full video to know what types of carbs you should be consuming. All right, so basically to answer the question, there are good carbs and there are bad carbs. And we're gonna dive real deep into this right now so that you'll know exactly what to eat and what you should be staying away from, especially to reach your weight loss goals, okay? So the good for you carbs are anything whole foods, all right? So there's basically the starchier carbs and then there's fruits, all right? Starchier carbs are like veggies like potatoes, yams, a whole food, okay? And then there's whole grains. There's whole grains like oatmeal and rice and all that stuff. So all of those are really, really good for you. Whole grain bread, multigrain bread, those are all actually good carbs, okay? The bad carbs are the processed, refined, white carbs, and basically white breads, pastas, pastries, cakes, cookies, all that stuff, donuts. All of those are processed, you guys. And I want to kind of just break this down so that you know exactly what is happening and what the difference even is. All right. And if you have questions, please drop them in the comments and let me know. I'll love to clear some stuff up for you. But basically, guys, a whole food, and I'll actually talk about grains because when you're processing food, it's usually you're processing a grain. All right. So when you have a whole grain, it's comprised of all three components. All right, there's actually the endosperm, the bran, and the germ. All right, and all three of those are in its natural state. It allows it to grow. It has all the nutrients and vitamins your body needs in its natural form. Okay, when we process foods, though, when you process a grain, you're taking only the endosperm out of that grain. All right, so now you're creating a food that is now unnatural, and it doesn't have the vitamins it needs. It's kind of foreign to your body, okay? Any difference between white rice and brown rice in regards to this? Yes, there is actually a difference, yes. Okay, so, and I'm actually touching on this right now. So basically, when a brown rice is a whole rice, it's a whole grain. So it has all three components, okay? White rice is only the endosperm being pulled out of it, so it's only like a partial grain. All right, so sure you get your calorie intake from processed foods, but they're lacking vitamins, they're lacking its natural form actually. So they actually break down in your body, they digest in your body a lot different, and it actually spikes your blood sugar, and it actually is related, processed foods are actually related to obesity and type 2 diabetes and all sorts of issues. All these health issues in our day right now, a lot of them are related to processed foods. Because unfortunately, you guys, it's actually 60 to 70% of Americans' diets are comprised of processed foods, which is a horrible statistic because that's basically a fraction of the grains you need, a fraction of the vitamins you need you're getting in your food. And that's actually what happens when you process food, you guys, is because they are kind of void from their nutrients. They, and I'm sure you've read this on labels, they fortify most processed foods. So what they're doing is they're taking the grain out, they're breaking the grain down, then they fortify it with vitamins after the fact. So it's basically a man-made food that we're all consuming. All right, so my biggest point here that I want you to take away from this is that any whole foods in their natural state are always going to be way better for you. Way more vitamins, way more energy. It's living energy actually. And processed foods are actually like dead, kind of. Like they're kind of killing the grain, all right? So that's a really big point that I didn't nail home on yesterday's video, and I want to make sure I do that today. But another really big point is whole foods are actually a lot lower in calories compared to processed foods. All right, so they're basically, this is another way to remember this. Whole foods are higher in nutrients and lower in calories, and versus processed foods, bad carbs, are actually higher in calories and lower in nutrients. All right, so, and not to mention they actually also cause inflammation and all other sorts of things. I used to suffer really bad from allergies, and a lot of it was related from processed foods too. So really guys, one of the biggest concepts that you're gonna start finding on my page is that the more in line you are with your body's natural processes, the healthier you're gonna be. All right, and that includes the foods you're eating. If you can eat just natural whole foods, fruits, veggies, whole grains, and beans and beans and legumes, you are gonna flourish. You will be loading your body with nutrients, with energy that it is living, and you will feel the difference. All right, guys. So hopefully, and I didn't even really touch on fruit, although I'm gonna be talking more about this tomorrow on the Saturday Shape Up. But fruit is another misconception. People try to avoid fruit because they think it's, sugar is bad. But in fact, guys, glucose is our body's main energy source. All right, and you get glucose from carbohydrates, from starchier veggies, from starchier whole grains, from fruits. All right, so fruits are not bad actually. They're actually super good. They're really low in calories, really high in nutrients. All right, so and I'm gonna clear up, because this is a huge debate about, keto. I'm sure you guys have heard of the keto diet versus a vegan diet. And, it's basically a high fat diet versus a high carb diet. And I'm actually gonna be talking about that in tomorrow's video. So stay tuned for that, because I love that debate. I feel like I nail it right in the coffin there. But yeah, so hopefully this clears up some of the confusion that's out there. I get this question all the time: are carbs good for you or bad for you? Whole food carbs are tremendously good for you. Okay, so make sure you're eating them every day, and you're gonna experience endless energy like I do every day now, which is awesome. And I just want to pass the torch basically to everyone, all right? So with that, I hope this was helpful. If it was, drop me some likes, drop me some love. I really appreciate you guys watching.